Hello and welcome to my newest video. Today I'm going to explain the rules behind my Age of Empires 2 World Conquest series. Many of you have been asking how the system actually works, so I decided to create a full explanation video. As you can see, this is the world. It's a little bit blurry, the picture, but I hope you can see everything. You can see the spawn points of every current faction in Age of Empires 2 or all current civilizations. Now we get to the civilizations and factions. I included every Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition civilization or faction, and this includes all Chronicle civilizations. Yes, I know them, they are 1000 years earlier in the world history, but as I said before, this is some sort of alternate history and a competitive experiment so far. Maybe I create a series in the future where every civilization spawns at its historical emerging point. And if the developers add new civilizations with a DLC or something like that, they also spawn on the map in their historical spawn position or historical emerging position. Now we get to the armies. Every region contains an army. That's a basic rule in the show or in the series, because if a region doesn't have an army, the region gets neutral, because in this show an army needs to be there to control the region. Now we get to the army regeneration. If an army has below 30% or above 70%, they get 10% strength to their base strength until it reaches 100%. If an army has at least 30% or maximum 70%, they get 15% strength back. Now we get to the expansion. I decided the movement of the army by a random spinning generator from the internet so far. This generator points for every turn in one direction, and as an example here for the poles, they need to go southeast. So I look and see if there is a free region where they can go. As you can see, there are some regions. I can see now 7 regions they can go, but the most likely one is that in the middle. And as you can see, the poles now take the region where the red arrow pointed at. Now we get to the next expansion site. Regions that are unoccupied can be conquered without a fight, and they get every time preferred, because in this show or this season, that is because the civilizations prefer to take regions that are not occupied to expand their strength and economy. If there's no free region in that direction, a battle will start in most cases, except the defender is so weak that the army is going to retreat. Because it doesn't make sense that an army that has 20% wants to fight against 3 armies with 100% strength. Every army on this world would retreat to get rid of total annihilation. Civilizations in Season 2 have a strength modifier. This strength modifier should simulate population and other advantages. As you can see, the overall strength of a civilization is calculated by a bunch of values. That values represent economic and population strength, as well as political, cultural and religious strength. This strength value is represented by the handicap option in the skirmish battle menu. Maybe some of you know the option in the skirmish battle menu that you can check, and then you can give the armies a value between 100 and 200% strength. I use the system to show the strength difference of the civilizations. Now we get to the strength values. Every region gives a strength of +1. The amount of regions is by far the most important strength value, currently at least. If they have a core region, they get +1% on the base value of regions. As an example, core regions are regions that are completely surrounded by friendly regions and are not connected to a large body of water like a large sea or an ocean. Per wonder region they get 1% and 25% if this specific region is attacked by another player. So this 1% value get also added to the base value, and the 25% value doesn't go on the base value, it goes on the army strength. So an army that has 75% is then at 100%. To get a wonder region, a civilization need to build in a battle a wonder in that region, and this wonder needs to survive until the battle is over. There is another special region type, that's the relic region. They also give 1% strength to the base strength value and 5% if that region is attacked by another player. To get a relic season, the civilization needs to win a battle in a relic victory. So if they get all relics, but they conquer the region or win the battle before the countdown is at 0, they don't get the relic region, because relic regions are far more easier to get in a battle. I see this several times with the AI, and if almost every region is a relic region, this makes completely no sense, so I added this value and the specific rule, of course. Now we get to the point where a civilization is completely surrounded by other civilizations, and now they need to expand, but they only get a region from another civilization. So they calculate what region is the easiest to conquer. As you can see, there are several options. I don't mark every option because then the whole picture is full of red arrows, but you can see here are many options for the Polish to take another region from another civilization. The civilization prefers the weakest region for general, but they also consider how much strength the army has. If their army has not 100%, they will calculate what is the most effective way to expand without losing too much strength in a battle. Now I show another example. This time the arrow points to the left or to the west. For example, here with the Huns, you can see they can attack the Bohemians and they can attack Italians. The Italians here now have a region that has an army with only 15% of strength. So this region is very weak, and if they would fight against the Huns, they would be devastated. The Huns are so strong in this case that the Italians doesn't really have any chance to win or do serious damage to any of their armies of the Huns. So they abandon the season to prevent total annihilation and retreat to the weakest friendly neighboring region, and this is the region in the southwest with also 15% strength. So the strength of this both armies get added on each other, and now they are at 30%. And the Huns take the region without any fight. If they take an enemy region without a fight, they lose half of their strength of the attacking army. So the army basically splits, and now both region has 45% strength. If an army has no weak region, or there are too many neighboring enemy regions, they do it like that. So here again the Poles against the Thracians. The Poles want to attack this region because it's the weakest in that direction, so they attack them. And if they attack them, every region that is connected to this one and this one join the fight. So this region joins the fight and this region joins the fight. So they have a 3 versus 1 advantage, but the Thracians are not so weak like the Italians in the previous example. And now a battle going to start. This is a special case here because the Thracians are also connected with that region to the Bulgarians, and they now have a chance to join the battle and fight against the Poles and fight against the Thracians. So there's also again this spinning, and if the spinning points at the Thracian region, the Bulgarians join. So they use these two armies to fight against the Thracians because that region and that region are connected to this region. Now we get to the post-battle analysis or post-battle events. The region is conquered by the attacker in case the attacker scores a victory. So in that case, of course, the Poles take the region because the Bulgarians doesn't attack in that direction, and the Thracians has 40% strength on their army, so they lose this battle, of course. But they take some damage to the Poles. As I said before, the main attacking army is split into the original region army and the newly conquered region army. The region remains by the defender in case the defender was successful. This also happens sometimes, and it's really fun to watch at least. But it's not the common outcome because in many cases the attacker is of course more powerful than the defender or has more armies to attack with than the defender. After a battle, the army strengths are evaluated again. So if they score a pyrrhic victory, they got really devastated in the battle, but still won that region. They have now 2 regions with very weak armies. But it also can be the case that they devastated the defending army and they get 2 regions with medium strength armies. Next we get to exclaves and new civilizations. Here's another example, this time with the Spanish and the Goths. As you can see, the Spanish territory is divided in 3 parts, and between every of their territories is at least an enemy region. Here the Goths have one and here another. Now the Goths attacking that region because the random generator says this is the direction they should attack. Now they of course win because at that point the Spanish are really weak in the simulation and lose that battle. Now the rule is that if 2 enemy regions are between your regions that are separated by the enemy, they emerge as a new faction. So I created for this example a new civ icon. The base civ are still Spanish, but the icon is inspired by the modern Andalusian icon. So a new civilization appeared that is the Andalusians. Exclaves and new civilizations start with a boost to give them a chance against other existing civs. We can go back and see the Andalusians here have only 5 regions and they would not have any chance against the Portuguese, the Goths or the Berbers, and they get a boost to simulate this new rising civ, and this boost simulates the rise of a new civilization. This boost drops with every round played until it reached 0. So, of course, it would be really overpowered if that civilization gets the boost completely through the entire simulation. So they lose minus 25% of their strength. The boost is calculated with the power difference between the strongest civ on the entire map and the newly spawned civilization's power stats. For example, a new civ has 3 regions and a strength of 8, of course. They doesn't have any wonders or any relic regions, or they doesn't have any core regions. They get a power value of 8. If the strongest civilization has a strength of 40, then the new civ gets a 500% boost. So 8 times 500% of course is 40, and now the civilization has a chance to get up and build at least medium-sized civilization for themselves. Examples for new civilizations are of course newly added civilizations to the base game, like the Tupi or the Mapuche in the last DLC, or the custom civ I mentioned before. That can be some civilizations like the Tenguts or the Venetians or the Zapotecs from Mexico, or of course in that example the Andalusians. Small disclaimer to my video: if I do some mistakes in the simulation, like I don't adjust the army strength or something like that, don't blame me. The amount of numbers currently is extremely large. I have at least 200 percentage values I now need to consider after every turn, and sometimes it can happen that I doesn't saw them. This type of mistake already happened, and I try my best to avoid them. An example are Teutons, where 2 turns in a row I doesn't change their army strength, so I need to do it in a later turn. But then they get, of course, more power. This mistake was not so bad because the weak regions of the Teutons doesn't get attacked by any other player. So please, this can happen. Don't blame me. I try my best, and I'm currently working on a program to get rid of mistakes like that, because then it gets fully automated and then it should be over with that kind of mistakes.